Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Today, we've got an Amazon FBA business in the sports accessories niche. Created in May 2015, this business makes $3,467 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40684. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. So thanks for coming on, Marvin.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, before we dive into all the questions, just to give our viewers out there in internet land a quick summary of this business. Like I mentioned, it was built in May 2015, has a monthly revenue of $17,961, with the expenses sitting at $14,493 and a net profit of $3,467. Now that is over a 12-month average, and with the sale of the business, they'll include obviously the domain, the Amazon seller account, the product pictures and designs, contacts for the suppliers and freight forwarders, and obviously the current FBA inventory. So Marvin, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first stab at it, or have you had several that you've built up?
I would say this is my first real stab at it. I had ever since I was a teenager, I fiddled around, in the online business world. So trying like ads and sites and affiliate programs. And the Amazon FBA business really clicked for me when I read about it, when I heard about it. And so that was like the first real business I started online.
Awesome. How did you come up with the idea for this specific niche? Was there something about it that you just loved, or did you do some research into the niche?
Yeah, I did some research. I mean, I'm interested in sports anyway, so it kind of fit what I was interested in anyhow. But then I did some market research, and I really tried to figure out a product that I could easily sell on Amazon, that I could rank well, that had the sales volume and not that much competition yet. So that was really the way I went about it, doing market research and finding this specific niche.
Cool, man. So for someone that is brand new to Amazon FBA, maybe even online business, and they're looking at purchasing this business in particular, could you just briefly describe to the layman how this business makes money?
Yeah, well, basically the products are private label products, which means there is a manufacturer in China, and they private label the products with my own brand. And then those products are sold on Amazon in the United States. And well, the profits come from the selling of the products.
Awesome. Yeah, so for those out there not super familiar with Amazon FBA, just exactly what you said. You ship the products into the warehouse, and Amazon pretty much takes care of all the logistics from there once you get the product there. And obviously, you get to benefit from the amazing traffic monster that is Amazon by having it listed on the site. So what was the trajectory of this business when you first began? Did you find once you sourced the products and got them into the warehouse that listed on Amazon that the sales just came right away, or was it kind of a slow build up?
So I went through the process of actually actively ranking the products to sell. So when I placed my first order, it was kind of a leap of faith because I placed a quite large order without exactly knowing if they would sell. But then after that, I went through the process of doing promos with discount coupons and trying to get the products listed for specific keywords. So that was really how I got the initial sales. And then also doing the Amazon ad platform, putting a lot of money in there to get the ball rolling. And then as soon as the products are listed and ranked fairly well, the sales started to come in more and more, and it kind of took off organically.
Awesome. Is there anything you learned from this business that you're going to apply to perhaps future businesses of some sort, or something that just really worked really well for you?
Yeah, I would say, generally I learned a ton. I was a college student back then when I started the business, and it's been all theories in my head back then, and I hadn't really done much practical business stuff. And I think most of all, it was just dealing with suppliers, having supplier relations overseas. That has really been the key takeaway for me, how to deal with those suppliers and how to make sure products are delivered on time and maintaining those relationships.
Yeah, I think the supply and demand aspect of Amazon FBA business is super important to master, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What have you tried that didn't work? Anything that just kind of fell flat on its face?
That was mostly, I tried a bunch of products out that didn't really sell that well. So what I did was I ordered a bunch of different products with a smaller quantity just to test the market. And that has been a really great way for me to figure out which products do sell and which products I can make profitable to sell. So yeah, in terms of products, there have been several products that I've tried that didn't really work out, but then it was really easy to just discontinue them and stick with the ones that work.
Awesome. As far as traffic goes for the business, do you find that it's pretty much all Amazon organic traffic, or are you paying for some Amazon ads, or are you doing any other kind of way to drive traffic towards the products?
No, those are the two main traffic sources. So mostly it's organic through Amazon search, and I also use the Amazon ad platform. So I spend about up to $30 to $50 a day on the ad platform as well, but the majority is organically.
And as far as you mentioned, you had some other products that you tried to test the water with. As far as earning types come from, do you just have like one main product, or did some of those little products work out and you're still selling them?
Yeah, I have a couple. I would say the main product is still the one that I started out with like last year. That's actually been the best selling product so far. But other than that, it's pretty evenly distributed among the products I have right now. And so a couple of them did stick. And yeah, so apart from that main product, the other ones are selling quite well as too.
Awesome. How stable are the earnings? Do you think it fluctuates? Is there some seasonality in the business, or is it pretty steady throughout the year?
It's fairly steady. I mean, obviously in the fourth quarter, like coming up now, November, December, that's going to be at least a 50% increase in revenue usually. And there's a bit of a dip in July and August, kind of the summer dip in revenue. But other than that, it's pretty stable. And I've seen like probably people like starting their New Year's resolutions. So like the sales in January and February also are quite good. So
That's awesome.
yeah, people want to get into shape and stuff.
So when you source your products, are you shipping them by sea or by air?
By air. I have a also so the thing I have set up is kind of very hands off. So I have a freight forwarder in China as well, a logistics company I work with. So they actually pick up the products from the supplier and ship them by air. And yeah, that's been for me, it's been much easier because I think the shipping only makes sense if it's a really large quantity and a quite heavy item.
That's interesting. Let's pretend you wanted to keep this business. You weren't going to sell it. You decided to just keep growing it. What would be the least risky path for you to keep growing a business like this?
I would say two things. First of all, I would expand on the product selection in Amazon. So expand the Amazon FBA selection and work with that. And the second part would also be to further build a channel off Amazon. So build out the Shopify store and actually also do some marketing and some more branding, which I haven't really got to since I've been super busy with other stuff the past year. So those two things I would really focus on right now if I would continue building it.
What would you do if you were incredibly risky? Just through caution in the wind. Is there anything that sticks out as something you might dump all your money or focus into if you just wanted to grow it as fast as possible?
Uh, incredibly risky. I guess no, I wouldn't really. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of more of a cautious guy in that way, so I don't really know how to answer that. I was always make sure that there's just at least if it doesn't work out, that there's kind of an escape. So
Right, yeah, escape hatch. Just get out of there. What do you think the biggest risks are with a business like this that a buyer should be aware of?
yeah, I mean, there's obviously always a lot of competition on Amazon, so making sure that the products stay ranked for certain keywords, that the listings are fine, that the reviews are okay, that you make sure you get the appropriate feedback from the buyers on Amazon. I would say that's the biggest risk at the moment. So just maintaining the prices, adjusting the prices, yeah, just making sure that the rankings don't tank. And yeah, that's also what I'm focusing on the most, like day to day.
Speaking of day to day, what kind of work are you performing on this site to maintain it? Like, how many hours are you spending a week? What kind of daily and weekly tasks are you performing?
Yeah, so I think I specify like around 5 hours a week for the business, which it might even be a bit high. Mostly what I do is answering customer emails, which could easily be outsourced since most of the questions are quite repetitive. But yeah, that takes up the most part. And then also I look at the competition. I adjust prices for the products. I do that on a weekly basis. And then probably on a like on a bi-weekly basis or monthly basis, I place new orders with suppliers or try to discuss new prices for the products.
For the buyer that's coming into this business, he buys your business, or looking to buy it at least, what kind of skills or requirements would you suggest for a good buyer to have if they wanted to really take this business and run with it?
I mean, to be honest, it's not really that much like skills like you actually need to run the business, as as simple as that sounds, but just being able to actually maybe to have the discipline to do kind of the maintenance of the business on a regular basis. Because I think if you have a business that actually does not require you to put in that much work on a weekly basis, it kind of, you might like slack a bit in the things that you actually have to do. So really having the discipline to, get behind the computer and do the tasks that are not that enjoyable perhaps in the operating of the business. So the little things as doing the pricing and the reviews. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward model, I think. And anyone with kind of the computer skills to go online can pull it off.
Yeah, for sure, man. Move into a little bit more of the wrap-up questions. And speaking of the buyers, would you be willing to sign a non-compete like, hey, look, thanks for buying my business, not going to go and start this same exact sports accessory product right after you buy this from me?
Yeah, definitely. If that's required, then no problem.
And how much support would you be willing to offer a buyer?
I would offer unlimited support, like in terms of Skype calls or email correspondence for like up to 3 months after the purchase. I think that's fair to the buyer to kind of give an introduction to the business and help with all the necessary things like the suppliers and the Amazon account.
Yeah, that's very reasonable for sure. Now, obviously, the best case scenario here is someone comes onto our marketplace and they put down the full price. It's best for you, best for us at Empire Flippers, but would you at all be open to someone that says, hey, look, I want to do 70% up front and 30% after we meet, certain goals or certain training goals or support or something along those lines? Would that be something you'd at all be open to?
Yeah, I would be open to that. Then it would depend on the specific like proposition, but generally I would also be open to a deal like that.
Right, of course. So before I ask you my $1 million question here, Marvin, I want to give a quick summary of the business again for those out there watching, just to remind them what the details here are. The business was built in May 2015, has a monthly revenue of $17,961 and has expenses of $14,493 with a net profit of $3,467. That is over a 12-month average. And with the sale does include the purchase of the domain, the site content on the Shopify store, the Amazon seller account, the product pictures and designs, contacts to the suppliers and freight forwarders, and obviously the current FBA inventory. So Marvin, my last question for you is, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
Yeah, I think if you want a more or less hands-off business that produces a regular amount of revenue monthly on a monthly basis, I think this business is really the one you should go with.
I agree. It's hard to beat out Amazon FBA in terms of the time cost. Once it's up and running, the research is the hardest part, right? You already did that part.
Exactly. You already got the products there.
Yeah, it's already proven and all that good stuff. So for those out there watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion or somewhere else and you want more information, the link will be below this video that would take you to our marketplace listing. If you're watching this on our actual listing page and you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super easy. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So Marvin, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Greg.